Hello, I'm Frank Hanaway and welcome to Big Journey, Small Steps. Well, I'm going to do a short video today. I'm not going to talk much about Mom. She's doing great. I'm doing great. We're both doing fine in that way. And but what I am going to talk about today is I had a kind of an expressive breakthrough this week. I've been sort of captivated by photography for about 1.5 years, and I wasn't quite sure how to express myself through it. I knew I wanted to take photos of trees, of things in Florida that I respond to, and to give some indication of the intricacy of the ecosystem here. But I didn't want to make anything too blatant, or I didn't want to take another picture of mangroves we've all seen. So what I just kept playing with it. And here's what came up. So every day, Sita and I, at least twice a day, walk down to the Alafaya River. We go on some undeveloped property that's just right across the street from my house, and it's about 8 acres, and then we get to the river. On the way, there are all these different Florida ecosystems, including pine forest, palmettos, bayhead, live oak. There's a big live oak section that's low, and it's just, it looks haunted. It's so wonderful. And there are cabbage palms, and when you get down to the river, cypress, and what we call cedar trees in Florida, which are really junipers. But anyway, so I see this every day, and I'm always looking at it. We see tortoises down there, rabbits, there are foxes, coyotes. We don't always see those. Foxes, coyotes, what else are there? Of course, possums and raccoons, and you name it, not to mention all the peacocks that live around here too, that we occasionally run into one over there. They're usually in our yard. I don't know why peacocks like to be around people. They're sort of like dogs in that way. But we have all this wooded area, and they spend very little time there. When they are trying to get out of the way of predators, they get up in trees. And by the way, they have a very intricate and unique alarm system. Sita got me up this morning about 4 o'clock because something was going on in the neighborhood. I don't know if it was a fox or a coyote or what it was, but they go tree to tree. They start calling to each other. Anyway, I got off the topic. So I walk down to the river every day. And one day I was walking home, and it had rained the night before, and I always have my iPhone with me, and I saw some lichen that were just beaming in the sun. And I see them all the time, but I never really went into the lichen world very much. And so I took an iPhone picture, and I went back home and I started playing with it, and I was just amazed at what was in the photograph. So then I brought some lichens home and started photographing them and developing some ways to manipulate those images in Photoshop. And then I realized I needed a new lens. It was a macro lens, so I got a macro lens that's just awesome. And so I have been taking these pictures of lichens and mosses and things down at this tiny little scale where you can really see in that world. You can see, I didn't know that lichens had hairs on them. Did you know that? Not to mention spores. And boy, they get those spores everywhere. When you start working with them, I keep a little bulb thing to blow the spores off because they're shooting out everywhere. They go to a lot of trouble to reproduce themselves. So then what happened was a friend of mine who's an artist, my good friend David, who I may have mentioned on here before, said, you know, that just needs to be printed in black and white and be a line drawing. That's just a wonderful image. And then my friend who's a designer, Max, and I were looking at them, and he started seeing all these images within the image. Like, he'd say, well, there's a man there, there's a dog there, and I'd look and I'd go, oh yeah, there's like a Cocker Spaniel. And then on some of them, it would be a whole universe, a whole world. So as I started to work with them, instead of saying these are Lichen pictures, I started calling them stories. So it's totally up to the viewer what they want to put in that image, or how they want to use it. Or if they want to be the story of, can you look at it without making it into something? So anyway, it's all up to the viewer from here on out. So what I'm going to do today is I'm going to do a very short slideshow and show you 4 or 5, maybe 6, I don't know, images at the end, so that you can get an idea of what I'm working on. If you have any comments about it, I'd love to hear them. You know what I will do too? I will put the images up separately on my Facebook page. I'm sure I'm going to be posting them on Instagram and on Flickr too, but I will put them on Facebook so that with a little explanation under that for the people that don't watch the video. And so I will wish you from the bottom of my heart peace and joy, and thank you for spending this time with me. But here is the slideshow.